What have you learned during this time of COVID? We've all sat down for 2 years. What have you learned?
Not to take anything for granted. Those things that we've taken for granted, just to be able to gather and be with our family and friends, that it really is all a blessing, and we can't take anything for granted.
There it is. We got a mayor named Keisha, and we got a new mayor coming in named Dre. It's the Tallboy Experience. I think I can sneak in.
The Tallboy Experience.
What I've learned during COVID is that you should be prepared for all things. I was quite productive during COVID, actually. I wrote a movie, I started a new business. I accepted the current conditions and I adjusted. So I have a slogan which is, I think I told you that you write your destination in pen, but you write your journey in pencil. So when COVID happened, I said, what can I do now? And what can I do now is often also, what can I do now is oftentimes influenced by what the market conditions are. So entrepreneurs, people who are watching, make sure what you're trying is also what the industry is looking for.
I like that.
It has shown me that we can survive anything. And this is something that I've never seen in my lifetime, didn't know what to expect. But here I am 2 years later on the backside of this thing. And that I recognize that, again, when we are working together, listening to medicine, you can come out on the best side of this. I lost family members to COVID.
Sorry for your loss.
And but I recognize again that if you adhere to what science and medicine tells you to do, you get a fighting chance.
Great question. I have learned that we do not need to be stuffed into an office building. And we can be just as effective outside, in our homes, in the community, in our cars, in social working atmospheres, things of that nature, and that it doesn't matter what the situation or the circumstances, that Atlanta will prevail. Atlanta did not fall during this pandemic. If anything, Atlanta prevailed. Atlanta progressed. We have so many new business owners, so many new entrepreneurs out of this pandemic that it's amazing. I think that we've created a mecca here in Atlanta through this pandemic. And once this pandemic is over, we're going to see people that you may not have thought would thrive, thriving.
It's taught me to value the things that we've taken for granted. To be honest, we were able to do our jobs because we have access to hardware, computers, internet. There's people out there that don't have that. And what we started to learn is that gap can actually help set people, it sets people back. And so for me, it's the appreciation of some of the things that we take for granted. And then also health-wise, you think about the fact that when we're out there in the communities, when we're shaking hands, we don't appreciate and understand the challenges that some people face. And quite frankly, this pandemic has changed people's lives so dramatically. And for me, it's like, well, let's have an appreciation for that and understanding of that and how much public health means to the world. And it starts to think about how we deliver healthcare and how we have access to healthcare. All of those things are so very important. So it's been a big learning lesson for a lot of us.
Cherishing the moments when we can be together like this tonight, because we haven't been able to do this for 2 years. And remembering, I think, what makes cities special. And, it's just being able to be around people with energy and innovative ideas and building relationships. And when you're stuck at home, you can be on Zoom, but that's not the same thing. And so I think it's really made us value the personal connection and making sure that we are looking out for one another.
Speaking of COVID, 2 years we've sat down, or just about. What have you learned during this time?
I will tell you. So this is actually something that's extremely important to me because, Tallboy, we are as an organization deciding to not go back into the office. I've said this before and I'll say it again. I think if people have gone through this pandemic and have not learned and are wanting to go back to the way the things were before, they've completely wasted the pandemic. We've realized now we have access to talent across the entire world. There's no reason why we should behold them to being in one location. There's no reason why you can't have the ability for individuals to kind of coalesce and come together without being together face to face. We all have our needs for human touch. We all need to get together, but we need to make sure that that's done in a purposeful and meaningful way. So what that's taught me, what COVID has taught us, is that, at least me, is that, we need to think about things, reimagine how we work together, how we interact together in a very different way. And that doesn't have to always be together one-on-one. That can actually be done in a very virtual environment, which really accesses us, opens the entire world up to a degree of talent that we never done before. So we are not looking to go back into an office-centric environment anymore. We're actually looking to ensure that we have talent across the globe, and that's what COVID has really taught me.
Let me tell you something, man. I didn't have to get shot in the dark or be told to stay inside the house to realize that change was coming. There's a major change coming out, and COVID allowed me to even become more wiser in myself, to really embrace the people that really love me, people I really care about. You know what I'm saying? And to also pray for many people, man, out there who's going through a lot of different types of situations, man. And right now, it's all about family with me.
So as superintendent of Atlanta Public Schools, I've learned several things. Number one, our children are resilient. Number two, that technology has a place in our ability to engage and to interface. It doesn't replace the human touch, but it certainly has allowed for more engagement. And then third, we found a greater value for the opportunity to stand in the same space at the same time like never before.
Everyone sat down for 2 years during COVID. What have you learned during that time?
Yeah, I learned a lot about our resiliency, about the ability to, continue to fight through things like COVID, and how life is precious. So I've taken more walks, I've gone to parks, and I've been out in nature, and I've learned how to get into arts and piano and stuff. Just learn to enjoy life a whole lot better, because it's very precious, and we saw that during COVID.
And when people see this video from the city of Atlanta, what do you want them to know?
Hey, Atlanta got a mayor named Dre. It's time to go.
Think big, think tall, think tall boy.
Oh yeah!